نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله، بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح للأمة فتركها على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها، ما زاغ عنها إلا هالك وما استمسك بها إلا مهتد، صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وبعد. One of the universal laws that the Almighty One of the universal laws of the Almighty Allah is that He made the conflict between right and wrong, good and evil, an eternal conflict since He created mankind. With the creation of Adam, peace and blessings be upon him, the Almighty Allah commanded all of the angels to bow down to Him. They all fulfilled the command of the Almighty, with the exception of Iblis, who is from Al-Jinn, who refused with arrogance and who justified his rejection of Allah's command when He asked him, "What prevented you from bowing down when I commanded you?" He answered by saying, "Ana khayrun min, I am better than him. You created me from fire and you created him from clay." قال ما منعك أن تسجد قال ما منعك ألا تسجد إذ أمرتك قال أنا خير منه خلقتني من نار وخلقته من طين. Then we know the rest of the story as the Quran registers it. The Almighty expelled Iblis from His mercy and He cursed him. But Iblis asked for a respite until the day of judgment, a request that was granted by the Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal. Then Iblis issued his wicked proclamation when he said, قال رب بما أغويتني لأزينن لهم في الأرض ولأغوينهم أجمعين إلا عبادك منهم المخلصين. Iblis, Satan, الشيطان, said, "O my Lord, because you have put me in the wrong, I will make wrong fair seeming to them on the earth, and I will put them all in the wrong, except your servants among them, sincere and purified by your grace." The Almighty's answer to Iblis made it clear that the decision, the choice between right and wrong, good and evil, is a decision or a choice that everyone, every individual, every human being makes on his own or her own. It is a decision that we decide. قال هذا صراط علي مستقيم إن عبادي ليس لك عليهم سلطان إلا من اتبعك من الغاوين وإن جهنم لموعدهم أجمعين. Allah said, "This way of my sincere servants is indeed a way that leads straight to me. For over my servants no authority shall you have, except such as put themselves in the wrong and follow you. And verily, hell is the promised abode for them all." Now, in another but related context, we know that life, our life is full of ordeals and tests. Allah Azza wa Jal says, "يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه." O man, verily you are ever toiling on towards your Lord, painfully toiling, but you shall meet Him again. However, these ordeals and tests are what make us stronger. They reveal our true essence. As in the ayahs, أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون ولقد فتنا الذين من قبلهم فليعلمن الله الذين صدقوا وَلَيَعْلَمَنَّ الْكَاذِبِينَ. Do men think that they will be left alone and saying, we believe, and that they will not be tested? We did test those before them, and Allah will certainly know those who are true from those who are false. My dear brothers and sisters, the bottom line here is that challenges come with opportunities. Challenges come with opportunities. When we are tested, it opens new opportunities to us, whether to express or to project our true faith and what we're made of. When we face with challenges, that's when you develop a response, and it shows you whether you have the strength, the eternal strength to deal with it or not. When you have a challenge in your life, whatever challenge, if you look at our lives, going back to the ayah, يَا أَيُّهَا الْإِنسَانُ إِنَّكَ كَادِحٌ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ كَدْحًا فَمُلَاقِيهِ, that your life is going through cycles of challenges, cycles of tasks, cycles of missions. When you look at these ayahs, when you understand that this is the nature of this life, then you understand that every time you develop a response, it shows who you are. If it's successful, that's who you are. If it's not successful, then there is a problem that you will need to work on. It becomes another challenge that you have to deal with. It becomes another challenge that you have to deal with. In his best known work, A Study of History, and after he studied the rise and fall of 26 civilizations in the course of human history, the renowned British historian Arnold Toynbee concluded that the civilizations that they rose in the course of human history, they rose because they were able to deliver a successful response. And those who fell, they fell because they weren't able to deliver a successful response. So what determines our success and our failure is not the challenge itself. What determines our success and our failure is how we respond to it, how we deal with it. Again, going back to the ayahs, when Iblis issued that wicked proclamation that he's going to misguide everyone, that he's going to ensure that he's going to destroy everyone of the sons of Adam, Allah told him, هَذَا صِرَاطٌ عَلَيَّ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. This is a straight way, and everyone makes his choice. إِنَّ عِبَادِي لَيْسَ لَكَ عَلَيْهِمْ سُلْطَانٌ. My true servants, my sincere servants, you have no authority over them. In fact, when Iblis issued his wicked proclamation, وَلَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. When he issued that wicked proclamation that he's going to misguide every human being, he made an exception, except those who are sincere and purified among your servants, meaning that he has no authority over them. He acknowledges that he has no authority over them, and Allah verified that he has no authority over them, because again, it is a choice that we make. It is a choice that we make. Many people get confused about this. You know, Shaitan is playing his game. Shaitan is whispering. Shaitan is tempting us. But Allah says, you know, it's not him who gets you to do something wrong. It is you who accepts or rejects. Now, do we sin? Yes. Do we fail some tests or quizzes? Yes. But eventually we will be successful when it comes to the test. But do we make missteps? Yes, definitely. Mischiefs? Definitely. Do we insist on it? That's the challenge. That's the challenge. Every human being is going to commit a sin. Sins, not only one. But when it comes to the pattern of our lives, when it comes to the rule in our lives, no, we defy Shaitan, and we defy his temptations. So if you will apply this, if everyone will apply this understanding, if everyone will apply this in their own lives, you will see a major shift in your life. Brothers and sisters, no one of us, no one has a say over whether we're going to face a test in our lives or not. No one has a say whether we're going to be afflicted with a calamity or not. Everyone is going to face a calamity. Everyone is going to grieve. Everyone is going to face a challenge. It is not a choice that we make, but the choice that we make is how we respond to them. The choice that we make is how we respond to them. If someone is strong now, rich, influential, well-connected, it doesn't mean that they're going to last, right? We know they're not going to last. Many people tend to forget, well, I might be strong today, but tomorrow I will get sick. Some people say, no, I'm wealthy enough to take care of any problem. You know what? Even if you will enjoy 20 years of strength and, influence, someone close to you either will die or will get sick. And eventually we will get sick and we will die, right? Now the challenge is imminent. The response is where we differ as mu'mineen, as true believers, from those who have no iman and no faith. So don't worry about the challenge, worry more about how to deal with it, how to respond to it. Deliver this successful response, whether in terms of iman, faith, whether in terms of your daily life, whether when it comes to your issues. Whatever challenge you face, always invest in the response and don't invest wasting time in grieving over the challenge and the test, because they're imminent. What is not imminent is the way we respond. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم فاستغفروه. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Brothers and sisters, going back to the first half of this khutbah, remember that I mentioned the ayah or recited the ayah, يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه. That you will continue to struggle in this life. Every human being is going to struggle in this life until we meet Allah Azza wa Jal. That's what life is about. It's the challenge and the response. The struggle is our response. Now, whether we deliver a good response, that's the question. That is the question. Also, I recited the ayah that every human being is going to be tested. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Every human being is going to be tested. Today, if you look around you, this ummah is being tested, severely tested. We're being tested in Palestine. We have been tested for many decades. We're being tested in Syria. We're being tested in Iraq. We're being tested in Yemen. We're being tested in Kashmir. We're being tested in Somalia. We are being tested in many parts of the Muslim world. We're being tested here with the rise of Islamophobia and bigotry and racism. We're being tested. Now, for anyone to complain about the fact that we are being tested, it's not going to change anything. We could complain for another 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. It will take us nowhere. Remember the study of history of Arlen Twimpe that I mentioned, when he studied the rise and the fall of 26 civilizations. Again, those that rose, it's because they delivered the successful response. It's how you deal with the test, how you articulate and how you deliver your response. So we could complain for another 20 years. We could talk about the oppression and the repression that we're being subjected to. It will change nothing. But once you start planning, once you start strategizing, once you start delivering the successful response, that's when things will start changing, even although they might be gradual and slow. But you need to start at some point. We spend more time diagnosing the problem and we never think about the solution. One of the tests that our ummah is going through is our test in Myanmar or Burma. Our brothers and sisters, the Rohingya brothers and sisters. Now we know, okay, we can diagnose the problem. Since August of this year, 600,000 people out of 1 million fled the Rakhine state or Arakan state. We can diagnose the problem more and say thousands have been massacred. We can diagnose the problem more and say thousands of our sisters were raped. And now hundreds of thousands are refugees. But how do we deal with it? Continue to talk about the double standards that are being applied globally. Continue to brag that the UN finally recognized the Rohingya Muslims to be the most persecuted minority on the face of earth, and that what is taking place qualifies to ethnic cleansing. Again, these are good descriptions. How do we deal with it? You know, this masjid was built by the Turkish government, and we have to acknowledge that Jazahumullah khair, the Turkish government is one of the, maybe the sole country that is taking this plight of our brothers and sisters in Rohingya as a priority. But it's not enough. Everyone needs to do something. Allah Azza wa Jal refers to this ummah as what? As one ummah, right? إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاعبدون. Verily this your ummah, your nation is one ummah, one nation, and I'm your Lord, therefore worship me alone, right? The Prophet ﷺ elaborates on this ayah in the hadith of Nu'man ibn al-Bashir, may Allah be pleased with him. مثل المؤمنين في توادهم وتراحمهم وتعاطفهم كمثل الجسد الواحد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسهر والحمى. The believers in their mutual love, kindness and compassion are like the human body, where when one of its parts in agony, the entire body feels the pain, both in sleeplessness and fever. You know, brothers and sisters, when the Prophet ﷺ delivered this hadith, remember, most of the companions were illiterate. They weren't physicians. Science wasn't that advanced. But it doesn't take a physician to understand that if you break your nail, it will cause the entire body to feel the pain, right? If you have a toothache in the middle of the night, it's not going to take the entire, a genius mind to understand it's going to affect the entire body. If you say, why, this is the example of the human body, I don't need to understand how the nerve system works. But I know if I break my nail, if I burn my finger, if I have a toothache, I know my entire body will feel the pain. That's what Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is telling us by applying this analogy to the body of the Muslim ummah. That when one part of it is in agony, in pain, the entire body will feel the agony and the pain. Brothers and sisters, you can always keep your brothers and sisters in your dua. The Rohingya, the Palestine, make dua for every country, every Muslim individual, every Muslim people. You can make the dua for the nation, for every oppressed oppressed human being. We can always make the dua. But to deliver a successful response, we have to look to what else we can do to address the problem. Now, I'm going to conclude my khutbah because, of course, this is not a lecture. I was asked by the United Muslim Relief, one of our Muslim relief organizations, to come and remind you of the injury of our brothers and sisters in Myanmar. They have set up bases in the refugee camps in Bangladesh, over 600,000 refugees, to help them. Brothers and sisters, you can think of them as you. If we think that we're immune from what happened to them, we're mistaken. No one thought that Syria will be hit by what it's hit with today. I'm a Palestinian. I grew up in the misery and the crisis that we live, the perpetual crisis of the Palestinian people. I was born after Palestine was taken. I was born as a refugee. I'm used to this. But we didn't think that the Syrians will suffer today what they're suffering. We didn't think the Yemenis will suffer what they're suffering. We didn't think the Iraqis will suffer, the Libyans. Now we know Kashmir was there. We thought it is over. What makes us think that we are immune? None of us is immune. It could come to anyone. It could come to anyone. When Allah reminded us of His bounties, He reminded us, الَّذِي أَطْعَمَهُم مِّن جُوعٍ وَآمَنَهُم مِّن خَوْفٍ, who fed them against hunger and provided security to them. There is a table outside. Give whatever you can afford to sponsor your brothers and sisters, to help the orphans, to help the needy families, to feed them. Maybe $100, $50, $1,000. I think it's $150 to sponsor a whole family for a whole month, maybe, so about $1,800 to sponsor a family for a year. Always think about your role. What can I do? Forget about diagnosing the problem. Also tomorrow, inshallah, there will be a fundraising dinner with Sheikh Yasser Qadi. I think it will be next to Dallas Airport. You will find the information outside. Do something. Do something. Not only for them, but for us. وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. That's what Allah tells us. Whatever you do in terms of goodness, it is for your own goodness. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين وذل الظلمة والظالمين. اللهم من أراد بهذا الدين خيرا فوفقه إلى كل خير، ومن أراد به غير ذلك فخذه أخذ عزيز مقتدر. اللهم ارحمنا فوق الأرض وتحت الأرض ويوم العرض عليه. اللهم ارحم إخواننا المستضعفين في ميانمار، وارحم إخواننا المستضعفين في سوريا وفي اليمن وفي كل مكان يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم كن لهذه الأمة وأبرم لها أمر رشد تعلو فيه رايته ويهزم فيه أهل معصيتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وأنت يا أخي أقم الصلاة.